Hey folks, this is Vint with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Hammerting. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about 25 bucks. Now I stress Early Access. That means the game is still under development, and as such everything that you're about to see here is subject to change. So, Hammerting. This is a game that I meant to play for a couple of hours just to get a feel of it, and then I ended up playing for, I want to say, 4, 5, 6 hours on stream. It was quite enjoyable. It reminded me a bit of Craft the World, in the sense that you've got this group of dwarves, and you're going to be digging things out, creating rooms, mining resources. There's some production chains going on in the sense that, okay, I need this copper ore to make copper ingots, and then these copper ingots can be turned into these blade heads, which then could be part of what is needed for this axe that you can craft. So there's some, again, resource production chaining going on. There's also a tech tree. You're going to be learning this arcane lore stuff. There's a menu for that, and there's two, I think, currencies for that. One currency you find just by exploring the map. The other one you get by completing quests for the overworld map. So the situation is this. In the overworld, which you cannot control, there is a war going on. I don't know what the two sides are. One seems to be like this evil, dread, skeleton, evil darkness thing. And they're going to be attacking these dwarven settlements and other settlements. And these dwarven settlements and those on the good side are going to be requesting things from time to time. And it's your job to create a production facility underground and craft things that they need so that they win these battles. The game is over if you cannot help them out and all of their territory is lost. If all the evil get all the good territories, then game over. And then likewise, if you just keep producing and helping them out and the good guys keep winning their battles, then you'll win the game that way too. At least that's what I've heard and read anyway. So I haven't got that far, clearly. In the 4 hours I've played, I've just now unlocked Iron. So there's a lot to this game. There's a lot of head-scratching moments where I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on or why things were happening. For example, my dwarves just stopped doing anything, and then these slime goos just started destroying all of my buildings. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, why are they just standing there? Is this an AI pathfinding problem? Here, their morale reached 0, and I'm like, okay, so how do I get their morale back up? I was like, okay, and the tooltip said the only thing that can really get this is ale or get more ale on tap. So basically, I'm like, okay, so they need beer. And then I look at the tech tree, and here it's a Tech 4 technology, and I'm like, wait a minute. For a basic need like morale, you'd think there would be a way to increase that without having to rush to Tech 4 to get ale. Like, that didn't make any sense. You'd think a basic need would be satisfied around Tech 1 or something like that. Well, here, you can make water at the cave farm, and water will increase morale too. So the tooltip was misleading in the sense that it said, get more ale on tap. Well, I was looking for it, and here it was on Tech 4, but I didn't know that water fulfilled that, and I had access to water at the cave farm. So, there are some parts to this game that, again, head-scratching moments where I'm going, well, why did the tooltip say one thing when I could have done this instead? It should have just said that. You can increase morale by getting by the following, and then give me a short tooltip list of the things that would increase morale. Don't say in the tooltip that they need more ale on tap just for flavor, and then here you could have used water instead of alcohol. So little things like that. Also, the inventory is a little weird. For example, I needed them to cook, and no one was cooking. I had the orders queued up. I'm like, why aren't they doing anything? So I went to the job menu, which is under development. It says on the window, this is outdated, it needs to be updated soon, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, so this job system thing that they've got going is a work in progress. And it is, really is. It's nothing like RimWorld where you can assign priorities or different things. You can either toggle it on or off, and then you can see what their skill is at that particular job based on the tool that they have. And each dwarf can hold 3 tools. What I don't like is that how you assign tools to these dwarves. And for example, like I had to assign a ladle to a dwarf. I figured this out eventually. Assign a ladle to a dwarf so that they would cook. I had all those orders queued up and no one was doing anything. I'm like, well, why is no one doing anything? So I looked at the job menu and go, okay, everyone's skill at this is 0, or no one's doing it because they don't have the tool for it. So I created a ladle and I was like, how do I get the ladle onto the dwarf? So I clicked the dwarf, clicked one of their 3 open slots for their inventory, and nothing was coming up. I tried right-clicking, looking for some kind of equip thing, nothing. Here, you have to go to the ladle itself, wherever it is, in the chests. You can put chests down, and once you find it, you right-click on it, there's an equip button, and then you pick the dwarf you want to assign it to. I don't like that. I prefer, again, and I'm hoping they do this with their update, I want to be able to, in this job menu, assign priorities so that the dwarves would just automatically pick up the tools that they need in the environment. I don't want to have to find the tool, right-click, equip, find the dwarf that I'm looking for in that menu and click OK, and then they'll go pick it up. No. I want to create the tools, and I want the dwarves to be smart enough to go, okay, my master has told me that he wants me to cook, so I'm going to go over and get this ladle in this chest and do that. Like, I want that to be more automated, is what I'm saying. So the job system is just bad right now, in my opinion. But the game admits that openly, right on the menu. It says, when you open up the job menu, it says right on the top of the window that it's a work in progress and it'll be updated soon. I sincerely hope so. There's also, another thing I don't like is morale. Well, no, greed. Greed is another thing that dwarves need, and they need money from your reserves to do it. Now, there is no easy economic window in this game. When you open up your ledger, all you have is a button next to the resource that says sell all. It's not sell 1, sell 5, it's sell all. If you only want to sell 1 of something, you have to find it in the chest wherever it is. There's multiple. If you have multiple chests, good luck. Just click through all the chests, find the item that you want to sell, right-click on it, and then click sell, and then they'll go and sell it. That way you get more money. And then that way their greed will not reach 0 and they'll complain. So that's another thing. Like, I want a better economic window to where I can easily assign, okay, I've got 50 of this resource, I want to sell 10 of it. Okay, confirmed, done. That's all I should need to do. So as of right now, the economic selling part of this, your inventory management stinks, and the job system stinks. But I did say early access, didn't I? So don't jump all over me going, well, it's early access. I know it's early access. I'm pointing out the critiques because if you buy the game now, those are the problems you're going to run into. I'm just warning you right now. But that being said, I'm having a great time with it. I love that you can put down, various rooms. Each dwarf needs a dwelling, sort of like in Tropico 2, where each pirate needs a little hut. Well, this game, they store their money there, they store resources there, and so on. You can put down other buildings. The pathfinding is a bit weird sometimes. When you tell them to dig out, like in Craft the World, sometimes they don't do the top first, and then when they dig out the bottom, they have no way of reaching the top to dig the rest of it out. So that's a problem. So you kind of have to give your dig orders in a way that top first, then the next 3 rows, then the next 3, and so on. Instead of selecting a huge area, the dwarves aren't smart enough to go top to bottom. So that's another thing I'd like to see improved if at all possible. You do have scaffolding that you can put down, and they act like ladders. Again, like in Craft the World, you have scaffolding there too. The downside is that in Craft the World, you can put scaffolding down with a click of the mouse and then pick it back up. Here, the dwarves actually have to craft it, similar to ladders in Craft the World. So you have to wait a little bit longer. There's no instant ladder button for them to get around. I don't mind that. I'm just saying, in Craft the World, if you were spoiled by scaffolding, then you're going to be a little sad here because you have to wait for them to build the scaffolding. Again, though, like, I know I'm giving this game a lot of flack for its faults, but again, it's necessary to point these out because, again, it is $25 right now, and, these are the problems with it. But I did say I was enjoying it, and I've already spent 4 to 5 hours in it, and I have a very strong feeling that we're going to be hitting 20, 30, 40 hours at some point, and I think that's worth a $25 price tag. It's absolutely worth it. The team behind this is Team 17 Digital, and Team 17 Digital is fairly consistent with their games. The Survivalist, for example, is pretty solid. Yeah, the monkeys don't do what you want them to do sometimes, and it's frustrating. But they were also behind Overcooked 2. Trying to think of some other ones they did. Moving Out, Monster Sanctuary. So they've got a solid reputation here, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. So yeah, Hammerting, I do recommend this one. If you liked Craft the World and you wanted more, then check this one out. Just be warned that there are some systems in this game that aren't fully fleshed out yet that may frustrate you. But again, I've already spent 4 hours in it, and I want to go back to it after this is done. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.